Okay, I cannot wait to have this conversation with you. This is something I'm super passionate about. I'm gonna try not to drag it out too long because I could go on for hours about this, but we are talking about, excuse me, by the way, I have a little bit of a cold going on, so just bear with me here. But we are talking about the one, two, three, four, five, six, seven things that I think are the most helpful if you are planning to have a natural unmedicated birth. For context, in case you don't know, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter and had a completely unmedicated birth, which means, vaginal, natural, like right out the vagina, no medication, literally nothing. Like not an Advil, not that fucking Advil would do anything, but nothing. Okay. And it was amazing. And I would do it again a million times over. The reason why I'm having this conversation, I've done other podcast episodes, about this over the years, but one of my girlfriends is currently pregnant. She's due like very soon. And, I was talking to her about some of these things. So I'm like, oh, let me do a podcast episode on this. And I remember a few months back, she was like, how bad? Like, did it hurt? And I was like, um, how do you want me to answer that? Like, yeah. It's like the most painful thing you'll ever experience in your life. But these things 100% helped. And it's the reason why I was able to do it. And so before I even get into this is not to say that this is going to 100% mean you're going to be able to have a natural birth. Like things happen, complications happen. Every birth is beautiful and perfect the way that, it needed to happen. As long as you and baby are healthy and safe, that's all that matters. But I know a lot of you in this community really do value and really want having a natural unmedicated birth. And I'm such a proponent of it when it is possible. So I want to talk to you about all the things that I would 100% be doing again. And that I know contributed to me being able to have an unmedicated birth. Because some people will just hear, they're like, oh yeah, I want to have an unmedicated birth, and then do nothing to prepare for it. And then just be like, okay, well, I mean, you need to do stuff to help you be able to do that. Because like I said, it is extremely painful. So it's really helpful to do things that are going to speed up the process. So it's not, 3 days in unmedicated labor. Which I don't even know if that's possible. I mean, I'm sure it's possible. But anyway, so preparation is everything for everything in life. It's like people will look at my story and be like, oh, she got pregnant on the first try, had an amazing pregnancy, had an unmedicated birth. Like, oh, she's so lucky. It's like, bitch, I prepared for every fucking thing for months and years prior to any of it happening. Okay. So I put in the work, which is why I had these results. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. So, first thing, and this is not in any specific order, really. Well, actually, I am going to do the two most important things I think first. So the first thing is I did a hypnosis course. So it was through Hypno Babies, it's called. I'll put the link in the show notes. Super affordable. It was under $200. I think it was like 100 something. And I think I have a 10% off code for you or something. I'll put it in the show notes. But it was the at-home study, like Hypno Babies birthing course. Okay. It was all at home. It was all online. I did go through all the lessons and all of that stuff, but which is for sure helpful to like inform you about everything, and it's really great. But the thing that I got the most out of it, and that I know was, I would say, the number one factor in why I was able to have an unmedicated birth, was the hypnosis of it. So I started this, I believe, at 20 weeks. I started early because I, like I said, I was really committed to this. So the Hypno Babies course, you listen to specific like hypnoses, whatever, every single day. I just did it at night. They say to do it like during the day or whatever. I did not do that. I just did it at night, and I fell asleep to it every night. But it still works. It's still getting in your subconscious. So I fell asleep to these like audios, the specific ones every single day. There's like a whole schedule for you up until you have the baby. And I listened to it every single night. And I also listened to the affirmations one during the day, every single day. Right. So it's like an affirmations one during the day to help like reduce any fear or anything like that around it. And then there's a hypnosis every night, and it's different every single night. They have ones for your partner to listen to too. Mine personally did not, but it didn't impact me not being able to have an unmedicated birth. So if your partner isn't going to listen to it with you, like they're not all of them are for your partner, but there was like, I think one or two lessons, I can't remember. But it won't, halt your progress. Okay. So listen to that every single night. And there's a specific one to listen to day of going into labor that if you look at pictures, I didn't put like, I'm not showing the whole thing, but you'll see pictures of me. Like if you go back on my Instagram, but of me like literally just having Madison on my chest, like literally just pushed her out, and you'll see my AirPod in my ear. I listened to the day of birth hypnosis the entire time on repeat. I was in labor from when I went into labor at 5 p.m. on Sunday until I had her at 7:30 in the morning on Monday, the entire time. And there are parts, like when I think back, there's definitely parts where I like don't even remember. Like I feel like I like was sleeping but wasn't. Like I don't even remember what was happening. And then there are definitely parts I do remember, but I swear this hypnosis helps. So there's ones when you're in labor, and then it does remember this, and then there's one when you're pushing. So I remember being like, Chris was in charge of that. Like, okay, when I start pushing, switch to this specific audio. And it was amazing. So highly, highly recommend. And it's, again, all online. So wherever you are in the world, you're able to access it. Okay. So the hypnosis, number one. Number two is having a doula. I mean, hands down, having a doula. I personally birthed in a hospital. So proof that you can have an unmedicated birth in a hospital. I was not ever hooked up to an IV. I wasn't hooked up to anything. I didn't get checks. I got checked like I think twice for dilation. But that was it. Like I wasn't on a monitor. I wasn't on an IV, like nothing like that. Because I needed to be able to freely move around, because when you're having contractions and you are not medicated, having to stay in bed on your back and be hooked up to something seems impossible. Like I needed to be able to get up. I was on all fours. I was sitting on the toilet bowl. Like I had a peanut ball like on my side. So it is possible to do that in a hospital setting. You just have to be super clear of what you want. You have to be upfront with your OBGYN from the get-go to make sure they're going to support you. I remember when we went in to the hospital, I think I was like only 4 centimeters dilated by the time I got there, but I was in labor for a few hours at this point. And the nurse was like trying to like hook me up or something. And my gyno was there, my OBGYN was there. And he was like, no. Like she doesn't want any of that. Like she's not getting any of that. And I was like, oh, amazing that he was able to advocate for me, because when you're in the middle of labor, like you're in no place to be like, no, I don't want this, that. Like it should not be your responsibility to be talking about that. So whether your partner is there to help advocate for you, your OBGYN, I came in, I had my birth plan printed, gave it to all the nurses, like all the things. Okay. But having a doula, not only is their advocation super helpful, like she got me like a peanut ball, turned all the lights off, like was so helpful with all of that. But she helped us leading up to it. Like she came to our house a couple of times before actually having the baby, what to expect. She had certain like affirmation cards that she had me pick that I really liked the wording of, that she said to me over and over while I was in the middle of a contraction. She actually had to leave at a certain point in the middle of labor for an emergency, but Chris was there obviously, and he like picked up the slack and was like saying the things that she would say, because it was really helpful for me. I remember one of them was like, you could do anything for a minute. You can control your breath. Like those are things I just remember hearing on repeat. So that was really helpful, like her prepping me for that. But during the labor, what was extremely helpful is she would put me in positions that would, and help me breathe through the pain, that made it manageable. And especially the pushing. Okay. Some women push for literally hours, which, I mean, at that point you can't get epidural. So like you're just in it at that point if you already don't have one. But the pushing of it, she had like this blanket, I remember, and she had Chris holding it on one end of the bed. I held it on the other end of the bed, and he held all my weight on it. And I just like hung in like a squatting position and was pushing like that. And like, I remember feeling her, like so much of her came down at that point. It was like unbelievable. But anyway, having a doula that's going to help you be in positions that's going to be more supportive for the pain of it. She would know like if I needed to get a massage on my back, or there's things to say, helping me push. She brought me to the bathroom to like help me sit there, because that was like a little bit more comfortable. I had a lot of like back tailbone labor because I had like a broken tailbone in high school. So it was like a lot was in there. So I was like never on my back. And that was the other thing. So the third thing was not birthing on my back and not laboring on my back. I was never on my back. I don't understand why it's like standard to push on your back. That is so ridiculous. If you just think about gravity, it's like you're trying to push something out. Why would you make it harder by the way the angle that you are. So not birthing on my back was another huge thing, and not laboring on my back. Again, I was on my side a lot. I was on all fours a ton. And on the toilet bowl a lot for labor. It was just like helpful, that position. I don't know why. She just made me go there and it was helpful. And I birthed on my side. So I wanted to be standing because that was when I was pushing. And like I said, with the blankets, that helped get her down so far. And I could it was like giving me the most traction. But he was like, I can't catch the baby like that. So like, I need you in the bed. So we compromised and I was on my side and I pushed on my side. I was on my right side and I pushed on my side and they just like held my legs up. I don't even fucking know who was there. I couldn't even tell you other than like obviously my doula, Chris, and my OBGYN. I could like hit this woman in with a bus, God forbid, but like I would not know what one of these nurses looked like. Like I have no fucking clue, but I know there were multiple people there like holding my leg, all the things. But being on my side was really helpful because first of all, the pain of like going on your back, and then it just helped me get more leverage the way I was angled and everything. So anyway, that's the third thing. Not birthing on your back, not laboring on your back, like having freedom to move around is extremely, extremely helpful. And also with the doula side of it, that's really, so the hypnosis, the doula, not birthing on your back, she would let me know if it was a good push or not. Right. So like I was pushing before anyone was even in there, because when when you have an unmedicated birth, nobody needs to tell you, okay, it's time to push. You literally just have to. Like, I remember them telling me like, don't push yet. I'm like, I can't, I cannot fucking stop. I cannot stop. I have to push. And so, excuse me, there was a part where it was just us in there, like me, Chris, and the doula, because they were like, oh, she has time. And she was like, somebody needs to get in here. Like, she doesn't have time. Like, it's coming. But I remember pushing and she was like, that wasn't a good push. Like, you have to do it this way. And she would like mimic it for me and like, and coach me through how to push. Cause especially if it's your first birth, like your first baby, you don't know how to do that. Like, it's not the same as like pushing out your poop. Like, it's very different. And so having her there to help me like, okay, that wasn't a good one. And then, okay, yep, like that. Yep, that's good. But keep going like that. To like help with the traction of it to make it happen more quickly was, I mean, priceless. Okay. So highly recommend hypnosis, a doula, not birthing on your back. The fourth thing is having dates and red raspberry leaf tea. I know I did a completely separate podcast on this way back when I was pregnant. I'm going to link it below so I can go into the details of it. But essentially, starting at 36 weeks, you have 6 dates a day and red raspberry leaf tea every single day. You have to wait till 36 weeks for this. Now, the science behind it, I'll just give you like quick bullet points, and then you could go back and read listen to the episode where I like dove into it. But for the dates, I also talk about in that episode how to have the dates, because you don't just want to have 6 dates on your own. That's a blood sugar fucking nightmare. You have to do it in a very specific way. So go back and listen to that episode. But studies show that women who consume dates at 36 weeks, again, 6 dates a day, have higher cervical dilation when being admitted to the hospital than non-date eaters, significantly higher proportion of intact membranes. Spontaneous labor happened in 96% of women who ate dates compared to 79% of women who didn't. Mine was spontaneous. I had a textbook birth, you guys. I lost a mucus plug. A week later, my water broke, went into labor on its own, the whole thing. Okay. The next thing, rate of induction was significantly lower. The first stage of labor was shorter and shorter amount of time pushing, and decreased risk of postpartum hemorrhage. And that was a study from PubMed NCBI. Okay. I will, like, because I was so committed to having a medicated birth, you fucking bet your ass if that studies have shown that, yeah, I'm going to have those 6 dates a day. Okay. I did 2, 2, and 2 throughout the day. Again, go back and listen to that episode so you have the like way to properly do it. But all of that was true for me. It really, really all was. And the other thing, because that with the rate of induction was significantly lower, that's also another perk of a doula. They will help you in deciding like, okay, if the doctor's like, oh, like maybe it's time to induce you, or let's do like Pitocin or whatever. It's like your doula is there to help you. It'll be like, no, like, or like, oh, it needs to go to C-section. Your doula can help you make that decision and be like, no, you actually don't have to because of X, Y, and Z, right? So it can really reduce your percentages of unnecessary C-sections, okay? Because there are a lot of unnecessary C-sections that people do because it's more convenient for the doctor, and having someone there in your corner is really helpful for that. Anyway, so the dates. So all of that was the reason for the dates. Go back in the episode. And also the red raspberry leaf tea, drank it daily starting in my 3rd trimester, starting at 36 weeks, can make your labor faster, less painful, with less complications and less interventions. So yeah, and I was I was pregnant in the summer. I had her June 12th, so it was hot. So I did cold red raspberry leaf tea. I made it iced tea for me because I was like, I mean, I just did not want hot tea throughout the day. So that's how I did it. So that's the fourth thing that I would highly recommend doing. Again, it's so easy to do. You might as well do it. Why the fuck not? And then the last like three are lumped together. And these are exercises that I did starting at 39 weeks. Okay, this has to be starting at 39. My doula was like, do not start these until 39 weeks because they help kind of like bring labor along and move the baby down. And you don't want to do that too early. So I started this at 39 weeks. I did this for 2 days and then I went into labor. I remember because I was talking to my friend about this and she's like, like however many weeks she is. And I was like, all right, did you start doing these things yet? And she's like, no, not consistently. Like, how long did you do them? And I looked back because I made a reel on it. And I looked back, I was like, I literally did it for 2 days and then I went into labor. So it's curb walking, stair climbing, and ball bouncing. I was ball bouncing definitely before 39 weeks, but I was more so not ball bouncing, but just like sitting on a big medicine ball instead of a chair, like when I was podcasting and doing work because it was way more comfortable for my hips. But ball bouncing, right? So literally just get a big medicine ball and bounce on the ball a few minutes a day. I think it was like 5 minutes a day. Curb walking. So exactly what it sounds like. Go outside. If it's cold, bundle the fuck up. It's only for 10 minutes. You can do it. If it's hot, I was dripping sweat, but you can still do it. It's 10 minutes. Okay. Curb walking, 5 minutes on the left side, 5 minutes on the right side. I would set a timer and just go out by the curb and you just put your left foot on the curb and you walk, right? You just walk with 1 foot on the curb and 1 foot down. The unevenness of it helps move baby down more. You want baby to be as low as possible because then they have less to move when you're in labor and when you're pushing. Okay. So that curb walking is so helpful. 5 minutes on the left side and then 5 minutes on the right side. So 5 minutes with your left foot on the curb and your right foot on the ground walking. And then 5 minutes with your right foot on the curb and your left foot on the ground. Okay. And then stair climbing for 10 minutes. That was the hardest part because at the time we were living in a co-op and the stairs, it was like an apartment building kind of. The stairs were inside an enclosed hallway with no air conditioning. And it was June and I was pregnant and I was literally dripping sweat, but I still did it because I was committed to the process. Okay. So this shit is not necessarily easy, but it's simple. And it is honestly easy. It's just like you have to just get out of your own way with certain stuff. But I climbed the stairs for 10 minutes, up and down, up and down, up and down. I wasn't like running. It was just like, you're fucking 39 weeks pregnant. You're not running upstairs. Okay. But like, I set my timer. I would listen to music, listen to a podcast. Sometimes I would like pause and take a few breaths, then go again. But 10 minutes stair climbing again helps move that baby down. So that's all together. Stair climbing, curb walking, ball bouncing, starting at 39 weeks. Is that everything? Yeah. So let me go for the top. Number 1, the hypnosis, Hypno Babies course. Highly recommend. We'll put that in the show notes. Number 2, having a doula. Number 3, not birthing on your back and not laboring on your back unless you're comfortable like that when you're laboring, but you likely won't be. Number 4 is the dates and the red raspberry leaf tea starting at 36 weeks. I will link that podcast episode below. So go listen to that for like all the details of how to properly have the dates, not spike your blood sugar and all the things. And then the 5th, 6th, 7th thing is the curb walking, stair climbing, ball bouncing at 39 weeks. I will also share the reel that I made of that so you can save it and go back to it for like the timing of stuff. But those are the things I would 100% do again. Thinking of something else. I also did acupuncture throughout my entire pregnancy. I'm sure that supported it because my nervous system was super calm. And so I'm sure that helped as well. So maybe throw that in there. But those are my biggest things that I will be doing again one day. And I would recommend for anybody who wants to have a natural birth. It is more of a mindset thing than anything else. And obviously preparing your body physically with doing the things to help open up your hips. I also exercise every single day. And I think that that's another thing that definitely helped with a natural birth because my hips were fluid. I stretched them every single day. So I'm going to add that onto it. Stretching every single day to open your hips, to release your pelvic floor, being able to really, you want a strong pelvic floor during pregnancy, but you also want to be able to release it. Okay. So doing pelvic floor exercises, I'm adding this to it. So that's number 8 is stretching, doing pelvic floor exercises / going to a pelvic floor physical therapist. I did not go to a pelvic floor physical therapist. I wish I did for like healing purposes. But I just did exercises that I knew like was actually going to help strengthen my pelvic floor throughout pregnancy. I worked out every single day. I did Pilates. And then Starting probably at that 36, 37 week mark, I started relaxing my pelvic floor because yes, you want a strong pelvic floor because you have a watermelon sized weighted baby on your pelvic floor, but you also need to be able to release it in order to push that baby out. So that would be the eighth thing is pelvic floor exercises to strengthen it throughout pregnancy, but then also release it. I would sit in like a squat on the floor with like a meditation pillow underneath me, my legs open and breathe and like literally just release my pelvic floor over and over and open up my hips and do a lot of hip opening stretches. That definitely helped as well. So I'm really excited for you if you're listening to this and you are hopefully heading into your unmedicated birth. It is the best thing. I just feel like the second you're done, the pain is over. And now I was telling myself that too. I remember my OBGYN was telling me this as I'm pushing. I was like, how many more times? And he was like, Corinne, the second you're done pushing, the pain is over. Like, just keep going. The second you're done, the pain is over. And literally the second the baby came out, I had no more pain. Not one. It is the craziest thing. Not 1 ounce of pain after the baby's over. I was walking around, felt totally fine. Did not have to take any pain medication after. Nothing, right? Obviously birthed the placenta after. I was like, is this going to hurt? And he was like, you just literally pushed out a baby. I think you're going to be okay. I didn't even feel it. Just came flying out at that point. And I did not feel anything like after. No pain. I was completely fine. I was alert. The baby was alert. It really, because obviously when you get an epidural, again, sometimes it has to happen and that's totally fine, right? But the thing is that I was really against, first of all, I don't even take Advil. So like, of course I'm not going to want an epidural. And I know a lot of you feel the same, but that goes into the baby. And a lot of times the baby will be more drowsy when they're born and that could impact them being able to latch properly for breastfeeding. Baby was alert. She latched right away. She was a fucking milk monster since the second she was born until I weaned her off at 2 years old. So like that was all good. But I feel like aside from the benefits of not, having any medication in your body, I feel like it is the end being able to just walk around, feel totally fine after, like nothing happened. I mean, you're still bleeding like fucking crazy out of your vagina, but you don't have the pain. The other benefit of it is I feel like it is such an empowered way to go into motherhood because you felt the whole process. You and your baby are working together. You and her, and I just trusted the process the whole time. There was no doubt in my mind. It was like there was no plan B. This was the plan. This was the plan, and that was the only plan. And I just knew it was going to be possible. I knew the baby was going to come down. I just was like, she knows exactly what to do. And you know what's fucking crazy? Like, yes, I went through the pain of it. I breathed through it, and then I pushed her out. But like, your body knows exactly what to do. My body is the one that made the baby turn and move and all the way through. My body's the one that opened up my vagina to fucking 10 centimeters. My body is the one that did all of that. I just breathed through it and supported myself through it. But your body knows exactly what to do. Women's bodies have been doing this since the beginning of fucking time. So I had no stress about that. I had no fear about that. I was just like, this is natural. This is what my body literally is designed to do and knows exactly what to do. And I have prepared it so well to help make this an easier process as possible. And I just was like, I just knew, I didn't know it was a girl at the time because we didn't find out until she came out. I personally knew, like I just knew it was a girl, but we didn't actually know until the baby came out. But I was just like, I know this baby knows exactly what to do. Like we're doing this together. And I feel like it's such an empowering way to go into motherhood and really set you up to feel strong and empowered and just like ready to take on motherhood. I would recommend it to anybody if you are able to. Again, I know sometimes it is not possible. There are emergencies that happen, like that happens. And like you need to trust your doctor with certain things with that. Like, of course, you just want to do whatever you have to get baby out safely and for you to be safe and healthy. So those things happen, of course. But you want to prepare yourself as best as possible to increase your chances of it as best as you can if it's something that you desire doing. Disclaimer, it's not medical advice. Always trust your doctor. Listen to your doctor. Like, let me just like say, I should have said at the top, but I'm saying at the bottom of the episode. But I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Message me if this was helpful for you. Message me if you ended up having unmedicated birth or whatever birth you had. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful and perfect. And it's going to be exactly what you and baby needed. So I'm excited for you. I can't wait. Please share this with anybody who you know is maybe pregnant and needs some support. And I'm excited to see how it turns out for you. Thank you as always for being here, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for being here. If you loved this episode and learned something valuable, please share it with a friend who you think would also love it, or post it on social media and tag me so I could personally say thank you for helping me spread this important message. I am beyond grateful to be here with you. So until next time, stay intentional, stay consistent, and always mind your hormones.